everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tori and this is Holy City Mystic. So today we are going to be talking about 3 things that you can look at when you want to decipher how strong something is going to be in your chart. So when we're first learning astrology, everything seems really vital and really important, and this is going to make a big influence, and it's really hard to put them all together and to synthesize it and everything like that. So I really hope this helps, because you can actually look at something and decipher how much of an influence it's going to be in your life. So the first thing you're going to look at is whether or not you have a day or a night chart. And so when you're looking at a chart, the horizon line is going to be the line from your ascendant to your descendant. Now, if the sun is above the line, you're going to have a day chart. If it is below the line, it is going to be a night chart. Now, if you're anything like me, you might have a sun that is just above the line or just below the line. And it might be the type of thing where you look back in history, on the day that you were born, and you're like, well, the sun was up, but now my chart is telling me that I have a night chart. I'm not really sure how that looks. With those, it's kind of up for interpretation. This is one of those things where there's no hard and fast rule about it. You just have to really look at your life and be like, okay, which is it? So technically, I have a night chart because the sun is hovering just below the horizon line. However, the sun had already risen on the day that I was born. Let's go back to the people who know exactly which one they are. So, mid-morning or mid-evening or something like that. So if you have a day chart, you are going to have certain planets that are going to be stronger in your chart. So the sun is going to be more strong than the moon. Also, Jupiter is going to be the stronger benefic, and Saturn is going to be a stronger malefic. Now, if you have a night chart, the moon is going to feel stronger. So you're probably going to resonate more with your moon sign than you will with your sun sign. Also, Venus is going to be stronger in your chart. And Mars. Mars is going to also be stronger in your chart. Mercury goes either way. Because he travels back and forth from the underworld to this world, he can move equally as well in the day or in the night. So that's one thing that you can look at. Another thing is the placement of the planet or a point in your chart in a sign that fuels it or a sign that detracts from it or slows it down? So what does that mean? There are a ton of charts out there that will show you this is where a planet is exalted, this is where a planet is in its joy, this is where a planet is in domicile, meaning the planet actually rules that sign, like Mercury with Virgo or Gemini. You can also see where a planet is in exile or where it is in its detriment. So if a planet is in its domicile or its exaltation, that planet is going to have a lot of fuel. There's going to be a lot of energies behind that planet, and so it's going to act stronger. If a planet is in exile or in detriment, it's not going to have a whole lot of fuel. It's going to be like a flame not really having as much oxygen. If you have Mars, which is a very fiery planet, in Taurus, that Earth aspect is really going to slow it down, and it's not going to have as much fuel, as much oxygen as it needs to have that very vibrant, strong Mars energy. So looking at that as well. So the third thing we're going to look at when we see how strong something is what is aspecting it. So there's 2 things you're going to look at there. Number 1, the location of the planet and what is close by. So if you have a stellium, if you're looking at how strong your sun is going to be, and your sun is in Scorpio, but there's 5 other planets in Scorpio too, those are all going to lend each other energy. So that is just every planet that is also in Scorpio is going to make that bigger and brighter, and there's just going to be so much Scorpio energy in that chart. If you're looking at how strong your moon is, and it's the only thing in a sign, it's not going to have a whole lot of other planets kind of standing up and representing that sign, so it's going to be weaker than it would be if it had a whole bunch of planets next to it. Now, another thing that you look at is what is aspecting it. So if you have a Jupiter opposition or a Jupiter square or a trine, and you have a day chart, so Jupiter is going to be stronger, that planet, depending on how close the orb is, it's going to get a lot more energy because of that Jupiter. a lot more attention, a lot more prominence in the life because of that. So even something with a harder aspect, with a tight orb, that's still going to light up that planet and fuel it in one way or another. So I hope this helps when you're going through your chart and trying to figure out what everything means. I do appreciate you guys offering your own experiences. I know that's helpful for everybody. And this is also one of those things that really makes sense if you're talking to somebody and they're just like, oh yeah, those horoscopes and magazines, they were always wrong. Versus somebody who had a very strong sun, maybe even had a stellium surrounding their sun, and they're just like, man, every time I read Aquarius, like, that was me. That's what got me hooked on astrology. I was 8 years old reading a magazine while my mom was getting her hair done, and it was me. It was totally me in that Aquarius column. So I hope this helps as you're going forward, and you guys have a great day. Bye.